The following program is sponsored by The Greek, Ely's Radio Shack dealer at 570 Altman in downtown Ely, and brought to you as a public service by Georgetown Media in Ely, Nevada. Ely City Council meeting, January 26, 2023.
It's not a very good copy, but
So it's on YouTube. So the one we had this just have the latest time. We'll call this meeting to order. During the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have here, anybody here for communication, so we will move on to roll call.
Mayor Robertson.
Present.
Councilman Trask.
Here.
Councilman Carson.
Present.
Councilwoman Elliott. Here. Councilman Allward.
Yep.
Councilwoman Williams Harper.
Present.
City Clerk Lee. Here. City Treasurer, HR Director Trask. Here. Public Works Supervisor Craycraft.
Here.
City Fire Chief Stork.
Here.
City Police Chief Henroy.
Here.
City Engineer Almberg.
Here.
City Building Official Peterson.
Here.
City Attorney Cahoon.
Here.
City Municipal Court Judge Coster.
Here.
And that's all.
Okay, thank you. With that, we'll move on to item 2, public comment. Please remember this public comment is only for items that are contained on the agenda. If you have comments on any of the agenda items, this is the public comment for that. If you have other items you'd like to bring up for the board, that'll need to be at the ending public comment. With that, please state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 6B3 regarding the possible $300,000 donation to the Ely Shoshone Tribe to complete its townhouse project. I support that on the condition, and I'm requesting that you put me on the next agenda for approval for $300,000 grant to complete my Georgetown project on High Street. I want equal access to federal funding. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 6B2, you're to consider Ely Shoshone Tribe's request for a $260,000 donation. I support that request if you put me on the next agenda for consideration for a $250,000 donation to compensate me for the lost revenue when I'm not allowed to rent my properties and not being granted permits as others were allowed. The donation would allow me to complete my life center. I want equal consideration and access to federal funding. Mr. Mayor, on your agenda item 61 regarding the suggested revision by Councilman Carson, that's a farce. When it's suggested and written, what is suggested and written is selectively applied and intentionally discriminates against certain people in the city. And you can change that. Mr. Mayor, you need to change public comment as it was for all items on the agenda. You're restricting input from the people you serve. Remember, you're a public servant. Nothing more, nothing less.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment?
Yeah, one other item. Oh, I got to do it on the other.
Hearing and seeing none, we will close public comment. We'll move to item 3, mayor discussion for possible action, approval of agenda, including removal of agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to remove item number B2 and B3, actually, at the table until next February 9th. We have a member of the Shoshone community, and they have a medical issue going on, so they can't be here.
So we'll remove those 2 items and put them on their agenda in 2 weeks.
Correct.
Is there any other adjustments to the agenda? Is that a motion, Councilman Hall?
That's the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Approval, excluding items 2 and 3 to be moved to next meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilwoman Miller. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, you have a representative here.
Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. Item 4, City Department reports. Fire Chief.
Just real quick, we've been out today, this afternoon, cleaning hydrants. We did all the ones that get put on the list. The only one left is the one for the pump house. Mike's gonna try and get it tomorrow with the backhoe. We did everything in, from 7th Street, all of Central Ely, all of High Street, all the lines and all of them. Question I got is, some of the hydrants that are on the businesses, do those belong to the city, those belong to the business owners? I've heard both, and I don't know who you guys for the answer.
Is there an example of one?
So, like, say McDonald's, the one that's in their yard,
Okay.
you can see that barely the top of it sticking out, and they plowed all their snow to the corner of their lot, which basically hides that hydrant. We cleared out the one today on the corner by La Fiesta, that's, I know when Ridley's did those, it was up to the business owners to put them in, and they own the hydrants, but then I don't know if they revert to the city. Is somebody here know the answer?
Good question.
I think we should look at it. My understanding was that, yeah, the businesses put them in, but just like curb and gutter, they become the property of the city.
Right.
But I don't know, we'll have to talk to Leo and see if we get a better answer on that.
Because some of those are tough for the businesses that bury them, and I mean, can't waste all of our resources going back trying to, dig them out, so I mean, I don't know whether we send some of them ones, we did the ones we got to today, but I mean, some of those maybe send them a letter and ask them not to plow the snow over the top of them and clean them out, or I don't know what the options are on them, because like I said, Mike's guys have been going around, they cleaned a bunch of terrace, and Jim's went and shoveled a bunch out on his own in East Ely. Volunteers put a thing on Facebook trying to get people, not to bury them, and if they have them in their yard to clean them. So we have found some that people have done, but we found a lot today that were totally buried, so.
You're called to the county board, Mineral Heights.
Yeah, Mineral Heights, theirs were really bad burying. I got a hold of the county public works, and they went up yesterday and got all those dug out, so. But,
We'll look into that.
so, other than that, that's it. We'll look into the hydrant issue, I guess, tomorrow.
Police chief. Thank you. Judge Coster, do you have anything for the group?
No, sir. Only to tell you that I was able to complete my annual required training with the state judiciary this very week. That's just concluding today, actually.
Okay, thank you. City attorney, I believe you're on Zoom as well. Do you have anything to report?
Yeah, unless anyone has questions for me now, I don't have any report.
Okay, thank you. City clerk,
No report.
city treasurer, city public works supervisor.
I was just gonna give another update on the lift station. We were supposed to have the parts by tomorrow, now they pushed it up to February 8th. They said shipped February
Said ship.
8th. Yeah. And then, on the dozer at the landfill, the hydraulic pump has been back ordered, so there's no date on that.
Who's gonna repair the lift station? Can our people do the pump work, or we have to hire that out?
Hired out. It's about my plumbing at Cedar City.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Expansion of the bar, among other.
No. A little bit bigger.
All right.
Thank you. City water operator, city engineer.
We got our SHPO approved for our Central CDBG project and our Bell Avenue project, and so now we're taking all information, package it up, and we'll ship it off our EA to CDBG. I don't think that'll be a long approval process. I think that'll go pretty easy as well. And then I think we'll be waiting for the weather to clear before, because once we get the EA approved, CDBG will clear us to go to work on that. But I think weather and how much snow we got out there is going to hold us up until some of that clears, so we can actually see what we need to do. So that's there. The other thing is Alma Street project, as I expressed before. I'm working with them for that reimbursement of those improvements that will go along with this project that they're required to pay because we're older than they are. And so they're anticipating that we'll have that agreement together and hopefully back for our first meeting in March, we'll go through the utility board and city council for approval on that. Those are kind of the main things. Trying to keep the meeting short.
Okay, I'll keep it short too. That list that Cameron from Porter Group set out, did you have a chance to look at that all the different?
I did, I got a bunch of things highlighted in there, and so I think we should just sit together and go over things that I have highlighted from my side that I had seen.
You mentioned the 2.4 million sewer. Do you see the one down that says City of Ely, Main Street
That- yes.
infrastructure for 5 million? Is that a combination NDOT?
That is for NDOT's thing. yes,
Okay,
that was
all right.
NDOT's thing, yeah.
Okay. I thought, wow, you got a real good gist.
Yeah, no, that was not our stuff, that was NDOT's.
Okay, thank you.
BJ, the historic sewer plaque that has to be mounted
Oh,
for, I
yes.
think, where is that going?
That's gonna go at the end of Murray Street down here on, is that Toppers or Stoppers Park?
Yeah,
That's where it's gonna go on.
okay. All right, just bolt it to the fence or?
Well, we'll probably put it up on some posts and different things over there. Those are the things that are, I mean, I totally understand, but that's SHPO requirements of reporting the history of that sewer line that we just replaced.
It was pretty interesting. It was a nice read.
Oh, and it's a nice read, but
Tell John to
it's
get it
expensive
researched.
to put it up on the tree.
I hope somebody takes some time to read it.
I hope they do too.
Thanks, BJ. City building official?
Nothing to report.
Okay, we move on to number 5, reports from the city council and mayor. We'll start with Councilwoman Williams Harper. Councilman Al.
Just that, on the next agenda, I'll be bringing something forward, an agenda item to figure out what we can do with the excess snow. Public Works Supervisor Mike, kind of under a lot of crap about where he's putting the snow at. This is abnormal for the last 15 years, but we need to find a place to place some of our snow removal. It's causing an issue in certain parts of the community. Something to discuss next meeting. I'll put that on the agenda.
Okay. Councilwoman.
I went to the Natural Resource Board meeting this week and the Emergency Planning Committee, but nothing to report for those.
Councilman Carson.
No report?
Councilman Travis.
No report.
For my report, you have the permits that I've signed. I neglected to notice last meeting that I was invited to DC for Senator Cortez Masto's swearing in. I was happy to go. It was interesting. I had some good discussion with Senator Masto and also Senator Rosen. I happened to run into Congressman Amade crossing the street, and we talked for a minute, and got some time with our lobbying group as well, and I think things are going great. We've got a real responsive group. They've all taken time to reach out since then, and I think we've got some great things going, and some good appointments that our lobbying group has noted that our congressional representation is getting. So I think things are looking out that we've got some good political footing to get some things done at the state and federal level too. So we'll move on to item 6, items for discussion, possible action only of the Ely City Council, the consent agenda. All we have today are bills from January 10th, 2023. Are there any questions on the bills?
I'd like to report to the past member of the fire department, there are some bills in there that paid to the volunteer fire department and benefit them, but I believe I can vote on behalf of that, for the best interest of the city.
I also suppose that my husband's a member of that organization, but doesn't do any differently one way or the other, and I don't vote on it. So, if there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills.
Move to approve?
Motion from Councilman Carson, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Councilwoman Williams Harper. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried and so ordered. New business, item 1, Councilman Carson, discussion for possible action, review and approval of draft mission statement and survey to be distributed to city employees for input.
Yeah, so the current mission statement is probably 6 or 7 years old. Definitely needs to be revised. The former council did that, and I believe the staff really stepped up to the plate this time. They took a desire to want to redo it. I think they're off to a great start, and I'm interested to see what they come up with.
I think that's a great suggestion to send it out to staff as well, to the other employees to see what they have.
Right, this council will come and go, and the staff really needs to take pride in it and have something to follow, so I think it's a great idea.
So with this, on this item, at this point, are you just looking for a motion to approve the approve the survey and
And
any
The-
input that anybody has at the moment?
correct, yeah.
Okay.
Would we be allowed time at that time to ask questions, what they come up with, what the intent is behind it?
When they bring it back,
Yeah.
absolutely, sure.
Okay.
Yep.
And if there's numerous ones, we narrow it down? Or they want to fine tune the
I was just thinking they would build off this and edit it. What do you think, Jennifer? Is that
Yeah,
the
I
plan?
mean, it's just a starting point. It definitely could be entirely scrapped, you know, if the council thinks that, you know, there's better ways to say what you want. I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to convey, what is the council trying to accomplish in the city with what we do, you know?
Exactly.
So,
I personally would like to see maybe shorten it because wordsmith it somehow, just as a mission, I want them, if they're gonna be invested, which I think they will be, I want them to also have it on the top of their head, so that they kind of know what that mission is.
Sure.
I like where we're going with it. I think the intent of it is, I think we all agree, I don't know, if we need to list it all out, we just shorten it to utilities or, I don't know exactly, but if we can maybe shorten it a little bit, it might be helpful for.
I think the idea behind that, it is kind of lengthy, but just to let kind of people know what the city is liable for, what
Yeah.
they do too, so. Yeah, I think it's a good starting point, and curious to see what they come up with.
So I think the best thing to do right now would be to have a motion to send out the survey and table the draft, come back with suggestions from council and staff in a future meeting. Is that-
Yeah, because the survey has the, so you kind of suggested already, right, so they can ask that question, so yeah, I don't think we need to draft it, we just kind of get some input, so then we can come back with. Find out if we do, if not, if they'd like to think about it in revision before.
Sure, sure. I'll make that motion, then we'll table the draft right now and send out the survey.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
Second from Councilwoman White. Gonna get to the bottom of this, I swear. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried as ordered. Items 2 and 3 have been moved from the agenda. Item 4, Councilman Allworth, Councilman Elliott, discussion only, update on Port Group efforts on the city of Lee's behalf to secure federal and state funding.
Fair enough.
Well, we met again with Cameron, and there's the RISE grant, there's some other various avenues of money that we're going after, and he also sent just everything that's been awarded, so we're gonna go through that with our group and see what other things we can apply for the city.
If Cameron works as hard as he talks, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Well, that's for sure.
And he does. They're all hardworking people over there, and they're very responsive. Need anything else to add?
No, covered it good.
All right, any questions? With that, we will move to item 7, public comment. Please state your name for the record, no 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, your planning commission staff are not sending out meeting agendas in a timely manner. I got my notice of the evening, on the evening of January 18th by mail, and the meeting was held that evening. I missed the meeting because I was not notified in a timely manner. The open meeting law requires notice 3 days prior. I did not even get a courtesy call, as others have been in the past. I haven't opened up the mail. This is the day that I got it, the 18th. Mr. Mayor, at a previous city council meeting, Councilman Allworth stated he knew that one person had 30 properties or more, but would not sell them. This is my 4th or 5th request. Who is that person he's talking about? I think he's talking about me, and by the city refusing to allow me and my family to use our properties as others are allowed, it appears the city council is trying to force me to sell or go broke paying taxes. Not going to happen. Go on with that person he's talking about. Mr. Mayor, you have a dilemma on Great Basin. I've asked for a permit to park behind my sidewalk, yet you have a business here. the angle parks. I want to park parallel. You have the UPS people parking not only on the sidewalk, but in the curb and gutter. I don't want to do that. I want to park behind the sidewalk so I can continue my business. Mr. Mayor, the Clebre trailer park is still not in compliance. I was told to move my modular home, the tenant off because my lot was too small. You've got to stop the discrimination. Mr. Mayor, you're tagging different trailers. This one was on Clark Street. Wasn't there more than a week. Yet the one over there by Mr. Allworth and Mr. Carson's been there for almost a year, plugged in the power and not tagged. You've got to stop the selective enforcement. Mr. Mayor, I've seen no movement on Jennifer Lee's property where she's encroached on the city sidewalk. Beside other people, she has to set the example and move it. Mr. Mayor, I've not seen any move to correct the encroachment by Q&D and the state project on Avenue L, I think it is, and M. You didn't give them permission to make part of the city roadway. They were supposed to correct things. Mr. Mayor, I asked in the past in regards to who signed a complaint against my brother at his property at 842 Altman. I get to receive that. I also asked about 894 East Altman. That business still does not meet ADA. It's been closed for a long time. Once you open up a new business, you have to comply.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Incorrect.
What's that?
Incorrect. Once you have a change of occupancy, you're.
This is just
You
public
show it
comment.
to me.
Public comment only, thank you. Is there any other public comment? Hearing and seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Moved.
Motion from Councilman Allworth, second from Councilman Surfer, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That means you're buying dinner, you don't buy dinner. Let's go.
I'll put those up on the agenda.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chatchis reporting.